I'm Bud Summers. This is lesson number 27. We're going to talk about dominant seventh chords. They're known by the chord names of like A7. You might know it this way, or this way, or this way, or this way. A7, B7, C7, D7, things like that. Last time in lesson 26, we were talking about the four types of triads. We had the major, the minor, and the augmented, and the diminished triads. And we kind of went through them. We said we could create those by identifying the root, the third, and the fifth. The root is like number one, or the letter name of the chord. So if you have an A major, A minor, A diminished, A augmented, any of those things, A is the root of the chord. Okay, so that's the letter name. And you start from there, and you go up your scale. You go by thirds. So A is 1, B 2. Some sort of a C is going to be the third of the chord. D is 4, and some sort of an E is going to be the fifth of the chord. When we went through and we did that, and we identified, and we said, okay, for a major triad, we said, we started with our open string. We said, okay, for a major triad, we need a major third, which is 2 whole steps to a minor third. So if we did this, that gave us a major, an E major triad. The minor triad was a minor third to a major third, so like that. That's all we're going to worry about right now, but you can look back to lesson 26 if you need to review some of that stuff. But the main thing to take away here to be able to work with today is we had the root, the third, the fifth. Now we're going to add the seventh. And what we're going to do is we're going to take major triads, okay? So we need to start, you know, if it's A, it's going to be A, C sharp, and E. So A, open, C sharp, E. If we did it that way, or finding any other notes, and we've done this before where we tried to find notes on the guitar. Standard A chord, you know that we'll use the fifth string open. We'll have an E on the fourth string, an A on the third string, and the C sharp will be on the second string. And a lot of times we'll include the E, the open. Now people finger it, you know, sometimes just straight across there like that, and you play, you know, just 4 strings. You can use 3 fingers. I like to do this inside. Put the first finger on the third string at the second fret, swing your second finger over, and your third finger back, and get that A there. But you know, any A major. You know, your full bar chord, again, you know, we've talked about before, we just lay a bar down and then your second, third, and fourth fingers. That's kind of an E form. But anyway, you're going to, what these dominant chords, they start with a major triad, a major chord, then add the next component, and the next component then is the seventh. I've got a root, third, fifth, and now I want a seventh. The seventh is going to be another minor third above, so that's 3 fret. So that note is a G right there, open third string, or you can find it here, the fourth string at the 5th fret. So we need to find a way to add a G to an A chord. Well, there's a couple different places that are easy to do it. You can just take your whatever finger you got on the third string, you can take that off. Now that's kind of hidden in there, that G, you don't hear it as noticeably. Especially early on. We know that normally we'll hear the highest pitches first in a chord. So if we want to make that really stand out, we can put the G high. So you can put it right here on your first string at the 3rd fret. So if you're used to playing your A just straight across like that, either finger, doesn't matter, you can use any finger for that, but you'd put a G here. That's one way to do it. As I said with this lower one, that's got a lot of cool stuff. I mean, you can use that. It's there, but as your ear gets better, you'll hear it. Another chord that we can do this with, E. We know in the E we have an E, if we just outlined it open, E is the root of the chord, and then we need, to make it a major, we need to go to the G sharp, which is 4 frets, major third away, and then a minor third gives us a B. And we know how to play our E chord down here. We use our first finger there, second finger there, third finger there. And we strum all 6 strings. So we've got a nice E chord there. Now, we think E, G sharp, B. Okay, we need a D. Okay, the D will be the 7th of the chord. And we want to get a D somewhere. Well, another easy place to find a D in your E chord is just take that finger off the 4th string. Okay, I've just lifted that off. I still got my finger on the 3rd string and on the 5th string. You can hear that D in there. And that's, again, that's an inside type of note. Now, you could play it up here on your 2nd string as well. You got a D there, B, C, D. Notice how that jumps out better, okay? Now this is just doing these dominant chords down here, the A and the E, the D. You know how to play a regular D chord, D. You've got an A in there, and you got a D, and you got an F sharp. F sharp is the 3rd of the chord. To get a 7th, D, F sharp, A, we need a C. Okay, there's a couple places you could do it. You could put your C down here. Not real common to go there, though. More commonly, you'll see people taking the D here and just moving it here. And that's a cool form because what you can do with this now, displace fingers. We've done a lot of that before. Displacing fingers, just use your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers there, okay? And this becomes movable then. If I want to move it up 2 frets, now I can add my 1st finger here on the 4th string. Now I've got an E7. That's a nice, we've got this E7. We can do that. Okay, so we had our A7 here. That's a nice D7. Let's see, the G7 is another one. We know how to play a regular G chord like this, or maybe you do it this way. G, B, D, we need an F somewhere. So we can get an F here on the 4th string, D, E, F. You can get an F there. You can play it like that. Or if we want the F to be more noticeable, we can put it high there on the 1st string, E, F. So that's a G7 we can play there. And let's see, we did the A, the E, the G, and the D. Oh, the C. Regular C chord. You know how to play that. C, E, G, we need a B flat. Okay, and really the only logical place to take it is right there. On the 3rd string at the 3rd fret with your 4th finger. You just reach over and get that. Now, the thing about these is we can make them movable. That one right there is nice. We started with the C chord, add that finger there. Now, if you just keep, and I'm not talking much about the right hand, but I'm hoping that you use your own judgment to know what strings you should play. In this particular chord here, we need to stick to the inside 4. Okay, inside 4 for this chord form, and that's boom, boom. But that becomes movable. There it's a C, there it's a D, there it's an E. You know your stepwise movement. The only half steps are B to C and E to F. So if I go from C to D, that's a whole step. D to E is a whole step, 2 frets. E to F, then I'm just going a half step right here. F to G is a whole step, G to A. So that's a nice chord. Likewise, just as we did moments ago with D7 chord, if you take that and you moved it up, just as we did with the E, I added my 1st finger here on the 4th string, then E to F is just a half step, F to G, G to A to B, B to C. Okay, so that one's movable very easily too. Another one we did the A. We said you could, get your 7th note right here by adding it here. That, now we'll have to stick with just the top 4 strings, the highest 4 strings. But that's an A7, B7 is a whole step, C7 is a half step, B to C is a half step, so C7 is a half step, D7 here, and E7. Now the thing to do is to be aware when I get up here and I'm playing an E7, obviously I can reach back and add that 6th string open, that E. Be aware of your surroundings on that kind of thing. Okay, but these are nice chord forms that we can get out of these deals. There's not a lot you can do with that G7. It's just very awkward to try to do this. You can do it, but it's not super useful. The E7, though, is another one that is very cool, based out of our kind of the bar chord thing. You know, you probably already know how to do, you know, your F and G. Well, when you go to the 7th, you got a couple of bad choices. I mean, not bad choices. You can do, that's nice right there. You've got 7ths in both places now on the 4th string and on the 2nd string, because you had to abandon this note here. But something you can do here, instead of making it a bar chord, you can take this form. Your first finger comes here to the 6th string on whatever the root is, and then what you're going to do is you're going to deaden the 5th string. Then the 4th string, your 2nd finger takes, and then your 3rd finger will take the note on the 2nd string. They're all in the same. They're all at the same fret. And what we're going to do is bring our 4th finger around here to pick up this note on the 3rd string. That's a very nice movable dominant 7 chord, a G7. The reason these are called dominant 7 chords is because they do dominate your ear. They make you want to go somewhere else. If I play, that's a nice resolution. You know, they make you want to go somewhere else in a standard setting. Now, in blues types of things, you're going to hear them all over the place, and they just add another harmonic dimension to things. But as you can see, in the little preliminary thing I did, where I'm just doing some of these little forms. Here's an E chord, E7, E7 again, using that D7 form, and then the C form, and just bringing it up here. And then let's see if we did it with the 8th. Change keys to A. Okay, have fun with that. I hope you're enjoying the 7th, dominant 7th chords. There's a lot to do with them. I know this video ran kind of long. I'm sorry if you're still with it. Well, I'm glad you're still with it, but it's just a lot of stuff. I don't know that we covered near as much as what there is to know, but you'll need to really study these dominant 7th chords and put them into your playing, and you'll find that you'll have some really new cool stuff to do. Thanks a lot. I'm Bud. I'll see you next time.